everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited. We're talking to another author today. We love having authors on the podcast. And today we have author Barbara Matteson on the podcast with us. And she's written the books Beach Rose Path and then the sequel, The Rocking of the Ocean. And Barbara, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So this is your first time on the podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a little bit about how you got inspired to start writing?
Yeah, of course. Barbara Matteson and The Rocking of the Ocean, which is the sequel to Beach Rose Path, was just published on this past May. It's actually my third book. My first one was a Christmas novel called The
Yeah, I
Christmas
saw that.
Claus. Yeah. So I live right outside the Boston area. Born and bred New Englander, and I actually work on the Boston Harbor, and which has been a
Oh,
great,
wow.
yeah, it's been a really great inspiration for my stories, especially the last two books, because they do take place on the water.
Yeah. What do you do for your day job?
So I am a guest service supervisor for a company called Hornblower Boston Harbor City
Oh,
Experiences.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a cruise company that does cruises around Boston Harbor, and we also have
Oh,
ferries that go to Cape Cod, Salem, Massachusetts, just pretty much all around that area.
so you know that ocean very well.
I think
That
so. I
that
should.
world there
I
very
should, growing
well.
up in the Boston area too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So have you always been a big reader
Yes,
growing up? Yeah.
always. My mother, extremely avid reader. She would go to our local library once a week and literally come home with a stack of books that big. And
Uh-huh.
she would read all of them, which is quite impressive because she, at the time, was a single mother. And I
Wow.
also have an older brother who's autistic. So
Oh, wow.
it was
Yeah.
very busy childhood and very busy for her to raise three children in
Yeah.
that environment too. And I think that was her escape as well. It's just, I remember getting up early in the morning, and I have this habit myself. She'd make coffee, eat her breakfast, and she'd always be sitting at the kitchen table reading a book.
Was she super into romances?
No, she was,
Oh,
and
interesting.
I
Okay.
laughed too because I think, oh gosh, she probably wouldn't like these books that I write. She was more of like the John Grisham type
Oh, okay.
mystery,
Yeah.
crime and stuff like that. I don't recall her ever reading a romance.
That's funny. I went through a John Grisham phase in high school. It was my young adult fiction
Oh my
was
gosh, yeah, same here. I did too. And then I would read some of the things that she read, and I liked them to a point, but it really wasn't my thing. I was more into
yeah.
the family sagas and the
Oh.
romance myself.
So yeah, you were always interested in romance?
I was, yeah, when I was a kid,
Mhm.
it was always about Nancy Drew or any mystery I could find. And then I evolved into these you know, bodice rippers, if you will, when I was a
Uh-huh.
teenager. And yeah, and then I do admit to that, and Jackie Collins and things, of that
Yes.
ilk. And then I guess my reading matured more as I got older, and then I discovered, like the family sagas that were like 500 pages long. One of my favorite books is Gone with the Wind, which I've read several times.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I've never
that
read the book. Of course, I've seen the movie.
yeah, it's quite different, but
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah, it's still just as good. Sometimes it's definitely, the movie's better than the book or vice versa, but I have to say the book and the movie are both very excellent.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. What is it you think that's appealing about romance?
So I just think we're missing a lot of it in our lives. If
Yeah.
you think about, and I'm just talking about like romance, where you are romance, where somebody, you're attracted to and you fall in love with and they court you and they woo you, that the old-fashioned
Yeah.
types of romance. I think we're missing that. And I think a lot of it is found in books because I think romance is very, very popular right now.
Very popular. I think I read somewhere that it accounted for two-thirds of
Oh,
adult fiction
yeah,
sales, which is
yeah.
unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
That and
Uh,
this new genre, I guess, is romantasy as well.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which
Huge.
I don't know if I could write that. I'd like to, but I don't know if my imagination is that
Yeah.
good.
I'm the same. I could maybe do like a magical realism like little tinges, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's more my jam than a full
Yeah.
on like fantasy world. And
Yeah, I'm so impressed by authors who can do that, that
oh,
have
me too.
kind of
Yeah.
imagination to create these, their own worlds, but
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
was always drawn to stories about more realistic characters. Like
Yeah,
the
same.
the first big book that I ever read was Little Women. That was like I
Oh,
was very proud. I finished Little Women. Of course, I
well,
loved it.
it's so funny that you mentioned that because I went yesterday to Orchard House where
No
Lisa
way.
May Alcott grew up. Yeah, I don't live that far from there. And I
Uh-huh.
had never been there. So my sister and I took a ride out there and it's just it's so beautiful there.
Oh,
Amazing.
I'd love to go there. I've been to that area, but I've never been to Orchard House. I'd love
Yeah.
to.
Well, if you're out this way,
Yeah.
please do.
I'd love to do that. And I'd love to go to England to do the Jane Austen book tour and
Oh
see
yeah,
all the like that would be so
that
fun.
would be crazy, right?
Yeah.
I would
I
love
would
that myself.
love that. Like go to Pemberley and all those
I
the
know.
different houses used in the movies and stuff. And
Yeah, and it's
that would
just and they're
be
real
really
too, and it's
fun.
just that you
Yeah.
just, walk in those same footsteps. It would be quite incredible to do
Oh,
that.
I would love that so much.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcasts, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
What got you to actually like put pen to paper to actually start writing? So you've been a reader. Had you always kind of dabbled in writing growing up?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, not too much. I did take a course many years ago on writing books for children but that never really got off the ground. And it all started with me being a huge fan of the Christmas movies. Um, uh, Starting in October and all the way past New Year
Ah,
on TV, my TV 24/7. So I just love them. And of course, there's a specific formula, of course, for these romances. But the one thing that I noticed is that none of the main characters were like myself, like a midlife woman. Uh,
yeah.
they were always kind of like the silly mother or, somebody who wasn't taken very seriously. So I thought, I think I can write. I really did. I thought, well, I can do this, right? Silly me, thinking that, most people think that. But I sort of like started to write and I'd put it off here and there. And then I just came up with the idea for the first book, The Perfect Mrs. Claus. And a lot of it is based on, it takes place in a department store at Christmas time. And growing up in the Boston area, there was a famous department store called Jordan Marsh and which is now Macy's. And they would put out this amazing, it was called the Enchanted Village. And I think another store bought it out and they still do it at Christmas time. And it would just be all these, figurines, life-size figurines, that had different vignettes of like Victorian Christmases. So that was part of the idea for the setting in The Perfect Mrs. Claus. And I just kept going at it. And it took me about 2 years to finish, but I did. And
Uh-huh.
then researched publishers, and Five Prince Publishing in Colorado picked it up.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah. It was
To
very
just
exciting.
self self-initiated, get it out there, find a publisher. You didn't self-publish, you found somebody
I
before.
didn't. No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't even know how to do something like that. So I said, I'm going to go the traditional route and somebody can
Yeah.
help me out that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And what did your family think of this? Like,
Well, I didn't tell
wow.
anybody I was doing it. I just kept it to
Yeah.
myself because sometimes I feel like if talk about what I'm doing, I don't know, something happens and it doesn't get
Yeah.
done. And I don't want to say, oh, I'm writing a book, and
Right.
nothing would ever happen. So I just kept it to myself until I actually got word that Five Prince wanted to publish my book. And then I told everybody, and everybody couldn't believe it.
Gosh.
Surprise.
That's so cool. That's good. That's very, very good. Well, are you a pantser or a plotter
Oh,
in
I'm
your
definitely a
writing?
pantser.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
have like an idea and I jot things down. It's just a very vague outline. But then when I'm writing, I don't know, something takes over and it goes off into a totally different direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wish I could be more dedicated and more organized when it comes to like having an outline. I know some people outline every single chapter. I don't even know how many chapters I'm going to have, how many words I'm
Yeah.
going to have. I just do it.
Well, I think these people that are publishing so much, you almost have to plot it because they just are making so much content. But like if that's not the priority, then you can uh then I think it makes sense to just kind of see where it takes you. Creativity.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I do like that. And sometimes I do have, like I've said, like an outline of some sorts, and then I'll go back and look at it a couple months afterwards. I'm like, oh, that didn't
Yeah.
happen and
Yeah.
not supposed to happen. Something else did.
Yeah. So you say on your website, you say the silver lining romances for the midlife woman.
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit about why you think that's important to do that.
I think it's important because I really feel that midlife women, it's a demographic that's overlooked. And I think, like the younger baby boomers and the Gen X's who are now in their late 40s, 50s, early 60s, again, are overlooked in romance. And I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of women out there who are that age, who've gone through, they could be widows or maybe never married before, and or maybe divorced, have raised children, have had all this, life stuff happen to them. And life just doesn't end at a certain age. It can
Yeah.
continue, and amazing things can still happen to people at that age, especially women, especially if you're working and you've raised your family. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, okay, now what? And there's lots of possibilities that could
Yeah.
still happen.
Because we talk about this a lot actually on Hallmarkies, because one of the problems that Hallmark has is they haven't been recruiting enough younger actors, younger talent. And so they still making movies with that crop that they got in like 2014, 2015, which are awesome and I love
Yes.
them. But
Yes. We all love
but
them.
we're not updating the stories they're telling. That's the problem.
That is so
So
true.
you've got actors in their 40s. You've got actors in their 40s or near to it that are telling stories about their first job. They're getting their trust funds. They're like that's not something that most people in their 40s are dealing with.
Exactly. No, they're not.
You
They're
know?
dealing with their families and their children
Yeah.
or or life, circumstances. Yeah, I feel like sometimes because we know how old these actors are,
Yeah.
of course.
Right.
And it's like, you're not some 20-year-old or some 20 something or 30 something. You are approaching,
Yeah.
midlife. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, Hallmark needs to get a little bit more realistic about
Now
that.
I want them to use them. I just want the stories to be
Me too.
compelling,
Yeah.
compelling for who they are, like
Yeah.
let's evolve. And I mean, I would love a variety of different stories, whether it's a young love that can be super fun, and
Oh,
then
absolutely.
mature like but it's just it feels weird when you have again like you have a 40-year-old actress like getting their first job, like that doesn't make any sense. Like what are you talking about?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Well, hopefully they will see this
Yeah.
and they'll get the message.
Yes. So I think that's great that you're doing that.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast. My name is BJ.
And my name is Me Too, and we promise this promo is worth it, so please don't skip ahead.
We're two judgy friends who put our judgmental skills to work for you. We review the pilot episodes of new and popular shows and shows that our listeners request to answer your question, should I watch this?
Look, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home, and yes, we should be reading and trying new projects and enriching ourselves, but does anything beat binging a great show?
Let us take the guesswork out of deciding what your next show will be. Tune in to The Pilot Podcast at thepilotpodcast.com.
You tell the listeners about Beach Rose Path, what the story is on that first one.
Yeah, so Beach Rose Path is about a woman in her 50s who's had, a nice life. She works on a golf course. She is a manager in a ladies' pro shop on the golf course. But the golf course comes under new management, and once that happens, everybody who's there is gone. They're starting fresh, and so she doesn't know what to do. She's been there for 25 years. And then another opportunity comes up for her in northern Maine for her to run a like a little souvenir type of shop. And she also lives in this golf course, on this golf course as well. So she's losing her home. She's losing everything. So she has no choice and she has to start over again. So she takes the chance, heads up to Maine, and begins again.
Yeah, she's going to be having to renovate and all this stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. She knows what to do because she's got the retail experience. But she's sort of like in a foreign place. She has no friends. She has no family. And it's about how she develops a new family and new friends.
It's true because that's the thing with getting older is it is way harder to make friends when you're like, it just is like people are busy, people have their families, people have their friends.
Yeah.
So there's not the same desire to make new friends. It's just harder than
harder
in your 20s.
Yeah, and then I noticed too that in my own life that I have a lot less friends than I had before. We've just gone off in different types of directions, we live in different areas. So you do, even if you don't go anywhere, it's a new phase of life and you have to figure it out.
Yeah. Like I have friends that I think I'm pretty close to that I see a couple times a year. It's just hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very hard. And a lot of my friends don't live near me these days. Most of them live far away. But I do have a couple that I can count on regularly seeing.
Yeah.
But it is hard to make new friends when you're plus 40.
Well, it is. And then I think you're set in your ways too.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find people who have the same interests as you do.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
so you kind of have two love stories going on in the book. You have Hamish and what happens with him, and then you have Charlotte and Duncan and what happens there. Was that tricky, like balancing all the storylines?
It definitely was tricky. That's where I had to start taking a lot of notes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how old were they again?
Yeah.
when that happened, 50 years ago, how old were they? So I had to really make sure that I was pretty organized with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Was it challenging to get the tone right? Because you have some heavy stuff that happens to the characters.
I do, yeah.
And but it still needs to be a beach read.
Yeah, well, I think it's important to when you are, because Hamish and his love interest, Tatiana, they're in their 70s. So when you're at that age, you've had a lot of stuff happen to you. You just don't glide through life and discover romance. And the same with Charlotte and Duncan too. They've had a lot of stuff happen to them. They're in their 50s. So I think it's important to acknowledge that, and that's the realistic part of people who are that age. And just, stuff has happened, life has happened. But I also wanted it to be, something that had, a very positive outcome to it that takes place in like a really, really, pretty beach town. So I guess it could be considered a beach read. And that even though all this, like you said, heavy stuff has happened, there's still happiness to be found on the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah. What would be your pitch to the Hallmarkies listeners for Beach Rose Path? They should check it out.
So I think, I know there are a lot of fans, a lot of Hallmarky fans, a lot of people who love to watch the Hallmark movies that are my age. So if you feel that you really want a story that's about somebody like you, then definitely check out Beach Rose Path.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So then you have the sequel, The Rocking of the Ocean.
Yes.
So how did you decide? Because a lot of times people do spin-offs or they're sort of in the world of it. Or how did you decide, no, I want to do more with these characters?
Well, after I finished Beach Rose Path, I just felt a connection with these characters, and I wasn't done with them yet. And I knew I wanted their story to continue. So, I was at work one day and I was leaning up against like a dock, and it was just, bobbing up and down, and it was kind of putting me to sleep a little bit. And I said, "Oh, it's just the rocking of the ocean." And then that's how I came up
Oh
with the
my
title for
gosh.
the book. But then I had to come up with a story for it. So I came up with the title before I came up with the story. So I just really, I thought about these people, and I thought, I didn't want Charlotte and Duncan to have like any antagonism between them. Like I thought about, oh, they're going to have a huge fight and something's going to happen.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad you didn't do that. I hate that
Yeah, me too. And it's just
in
like
sequels.
that's not who they are. But I needed to present some kind of an issue that would challenge them and, maybe even question their relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe what I came up with
Yeah.
did that.
Well, I mean, that's why most Hallmark sequels are terrible because they don't know what to do next with the couple. Like they're together. So what do we do now? Oh, we got to either make them break up or they're going to have a wedding slash maybe have a baby, depending on how long it goes. And it's just those usually are not very good. Like so it makes it hard to have a Hallmark sequel. Like when there's a good one, everybody always like, oh, we want a sequel, we want a sequel. And I'm like, no, no.
I know, because there were a few of them.
Yeah.
The only sequel that I really liked was the Three Men and a Baby. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And that one was easier because it's like more of an ensemble and it's
yeah,
not really based
yeah.
on the relationships. Like those are more of a side factor so that one worked quite well. There have been a few good ones. I actually thought the Nine Kittens of Christmas, the
Oh,
sequel,
yes.
I actually thought that one was pretty good, even though they had them break up, been
Yeah.
broken up, which was annoying. But
Yeah, a lot of people were not happy with that
it
from what
was
I understand.
pretty good though, I would say. But yeah, like the All of My Heart movies where you got
Oh,
this really cute, sweet little, relationship, fun, forced proximity. And then the next one is like this, like steeped in trauma, like breakup. And it's like, the thing that's frustrating about that with me is that Lacey's character, she knew what she was getting with Brennan's character. Like
Yeah,
he was a business. That's the whole reason he's down there. Like
exactly.
you knew what he was when you signed on to this. Like when you agreed to marry him. Like don't try to make somebody different than they are.
I know. The
You
first
know,
one was
like
so special. It was so sweet.
yeah,
And there's a few of them where I think, oh, I'd love to see a sequel. One of my favorite
yeah.
ones is oh gosh, I can't think of it now. A Country Wedding. That's it. And I'm like, oh, that would be a great sequel.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know. It's just you're
Well, what
better
do you
off.
do? Like they're together. I mean, I guess they could have a baby or something, but like
Yeah.
I I think that the problem sometimes that we have is that we think that we need conflict. I'm not even convinced like you could if you did this is a total tangent, but who cares?
Yeah.
So if you did Country Wedding, a sequel to Country Wedding, what I would probably suggest they do is you don't even need conflict. Just have he's putting on a concert to help save the local firehouse. That's it.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done. And you can have various shenanigans going on with the concert. They're still in love. Maybe finds out she's pregnant. Whatever.
Right.
Like that that would be totally pleasant and wonderful. You don't need some big like conflict. It's
No,
a
you
goal
don't.
that the two are working on, and then you get to see them finish the goal, and it's the gay, and that's great.
Yeah, and then it just makes them a stronger couple as
Yes,
well. Yeah, you
exactly.
don't. And yeah, well, yeah, and that's what I didn't want to do in
Yeah, yeah.
sequel.
Well, I was glad that you didn't, and but I think that this one, because of the structure, it feels almost like more. I would say almost more women's fiction.
Yeah, yeah,
You
it
say,
definitely is. Yeah, I would say that myself.
yeah,
Yeah, like women's contemporary fiction.
because it's more of a parenting story. I would say,
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
And learning how to do that at
Mhm.
midlife.
Yeah,
A
which
little
is interesting.
challenging.
Yeah,
It's challenging at any point in life,
yeah.
but when you're, kind of, set in your ways and you think your life is going to go, like Charlotte, she thinks, oh, everything, this is great, everything's working out well, and then boom,
Uh-huh.
surprise,
Yeah.
I'm not the only woman in his life anymore.
Yes. I w did you worry at all about like, okay, how like soapy do we make this? How like dramatic, melodramatic, do we make this?
Yeah, I know there's a lot going on in it, especially
Yeah,
at the end. And I
a lot
thought,
going
oh,
on.
how can I do this without, making it sound like this is ridiculous? Um, but I tried to set everything up, in vitro's path and at the beginning of the rocking of the ocean, so it didn't seem like too overwhelming or too soapy. I hope
Uh-huh.
anyway it doesn't come
Yeah.
across like that. But that did cross my mind because sometimes I'm reading books myself and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is so silly. This is never going to happen. So I I hope I conveyed
Yeah.
that, but I'm sure, some people say, oh, this is great. This is too much. But
How
um,
did you decide on the names? Charlotte, Duncan, Hamish,
you know what?
Tatiana.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I just look at names. I'll just pull up a list of names online if I can't think of anything. And sometimes it just hits me. It had a
Uh-huh.
little bit of a Scottish theme going on in The Rocking of the Ocean, Beach Rose Path.
Yeah.
And I came up with Hamish. And then I looked up Scottish last names. I went through a list and I'm like, ooh, Falconer, that sounds good. Tatiana, my grandmother is Polish, and
Nice.
Tatiana is a Polish name, and Tatiana's last name is Dulka, and that was my grandmother's maiden name. So I
Oh,
take a lot of things from my own personal life and I incorporate them into
yeah.
my books.
Very cool. Well, what would you say your pitch for reading The Rocking of the Ocean?
So if you love Beach Rose Path and you want to see what happens with Charlotte and Duncan, you need to pick up The Rocking of the Ocean because you'll be rocked
Yeah.
by it.
Yeah. And they're both like fun, quick reads, would be great to like take
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not too heavy,
Yeah.
but I think there's still enough drama in there to make it interesting. I hope there is
Yeah.
anyway.
I think so. All right. Well, we like to end our interviews with some fun, get to know you questions.
Sure.
So, first question was the best ice cream flavor?
Oh, mine's chocolate chip,
Okay. What's your
definitely.
favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Nice. Very good. What music are you into?
Oh, 80s. Always 80s.
Nice.
I'm
Good.
an 80s chick.
Hey, good. What is your go-to date night food?
That would definitely be either Chinese food or pizza.
Good choice. Yum. All right. What is your go-to date night activity for going out, doing something?
For going out, well, we really don't like to go out too much these days. So we'll just stay home and rent a movie and watch it on TV.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing, you can't beat that. Get a little DoorDash and
exactly. Yeah, we do that
go.
too. Exactly.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs. I'm on my fourth one.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
She's a black lab.
Oh, big dog.
Yeah, her
Big,
name is
big one.
Savannah. Yeah. I
Nice.
actually dedicated I know it's supposed to be a fun part of the interview, but this is another thing that happens too in life. I
Uh-huh.
actually dedicated The Rocking of the Ocean to her because
Oh.
during my final editing stages of it, which was this past April, we found out that she has lymphoma. So
Oh.
we're dealing with that now. So she's being treated for it, and so far so good. So hopefully
That's hard. Yeah.
it was a shock. She's our fourth lab, and we've never had a dog with a diagnosis like that before. So, and she's only 6 years old. So,
Oh.
yeah, so Little Lovey
Uh,
in the books is based on Savannah, in case
oh.
anybody's wondering.
Well, which do you like better, beaches or mountains?
Oh, definitely beaches.
Yeah, I think I would be pretty safe to know that one. All right. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
My favorite holiday has always been Thanksgiving. I just love to
Nice.
cook. I love to make a big Thanksgiving dinner,
Uh-huh.
enough to have leftovers for a week. And it's just a nice holiday to sit down and
Yeah.
eat, and there's no present pressure.
Right. Do you have a course or an item that you're known for Thanksgiving?
Yes, apple pie. I make a apple pie from
Oh,
scratch. It's like one of those mile high
oh,
apple pies.
yum.
Yeah,
That's the best.
it is. It's good.
My mom's a great pie maker. I have not been able to master it
It took
yet.
me a long time. The first time I
The
made it, my
crust.
nephew, who's now in his 30s, and he was a small boy at the time, he called it apple pie soup. So,
The filling's pretty good. It's the crust I struggle with,
oh, well, I have a great
you know.
recipe for you. It's
Ooh,
it's
I
actually
find that it's either like too tough or too crumbly. I can't get that texture. The
Well, if you look
flaky.
up Martha Stewart pie crust, that's what I've been
It's
using for
foolproof.
years. I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Good. All right. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Oh, my favorite one. I just love it's a Valentine's movie and it's called Valentine Ever After.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, with
Yeah, it's a good
Reeser.
one.
She's fantastic in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and really Country Wedding is
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
best for
I really
sure.
like a lot of the older ones. I haven't seen a lot of the recent ones. I do at Christmas time every now and then. Something will catch my eye, but I just love those ones from, I guess, like maybe 10 years ago. Everything was just good. Now,
Yeah.
now I think it's a little, they gotta switch it up somehow a little bit, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's always some diamonds in the rough, but yeah, it can
Yes,
be
yeah.
it can be a little harder to find.
Yeah. I think
It can
that's
be
what I'm
harder to
finding
find.
now. And of course, I
So,
love, all the actresses and actors too.
of course, yeah, yeah. Well,
It
very
was
good.
just
You did it. You answered
fun.
all the questions.
Thanks.
Way to go. Well, very good. And thanks so much for coming on, talk with us,
Well,
and
thank you. I really
congratulations
appreciate it, Rachel.
on the books. That's
Thanks.
very exciting. I enjoyed
Thank
reading
you.
them. And if people want to follow you on like social media or your website or anything like that.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at Barbara Matteson author, and my website is barbaramatteson.com.
Great. We'd like to thank Barbara for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her, and I hope you all enjoyed it and you enjoyed the books. Definitely check down in the description. We'll have a link, our affiliate link, to go check out the books. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes and Goodreads. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out our playlist for all of our book-related content. We've got tons of author interviews over the years, plus other recaps and discussions and things like that. So definitely make sure to take a look at that. And also, if you can follow And also follow us on social media at Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That really, really helps us a lot, helps the algorithm, helps people to find us. And so please, please, please do that. And then if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps us so much. It helps people to be able to find us. It helps the algorithm. So please, 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 please do that. Most of our viewers on YouTube are not subscribers, about 80%. So if you're in that camp, please subscribe. We would really, really appreciate it. And then we have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing. You get to be part of Patreon events. You get to be part of watch-alongs. You get to have early episodes, bonus episodes. And so definitely make sure you check all of that out for the Patreon. We really try to make it worth your while, and we really, really appreciate it. And then the merch store, we have tons of fun Hallmark-inspired designs over the merch store. And so definitely you want to check that out. And thanks again to Barbara, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.